The Day of Silence, for those of you who don't know, is a pro-homosexual observance organized and promoted by the Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network, GLSEN. It's supposedly student-led and run, but it was really devised and has been organized nationally by this adult homosexual activist group. Well, that's what the Day of Silence is all about. It's taking episodes of vulnerable and hurting kids who have been bullied and over the issue of homosexuality, and then tacking this on to the social justice movement and civil rights movement. It's not a fit. These are apples and oranges issues, and I hope to show you why. You don't have to approve of homosexuality to prevent bullying. It's that simple. There's tons of people who oppose homosexuality who also oppose bullying. So often these programs have become vehicles for aggressive homosexual activism, and they become indoctrination vehicles for the idea of homosexuality and for homosexuality to be forced, and gender confusion to be forced onto kids in schools. So when I realized kids were being corrupted and assaulted with this deviant sexuality couched in the language of civil rights, I got really mad. Decided I would jump in this. And if you've decided you want to do something and you've observed this, you may have the powerful array of emotions that I had. Deep despair over these kids and their lives ruined. I've thought about these kids so many times and how these kids are corrupted at these early ages, and they become cynical and jaded, frequently diseased, lost and searching, and they think there's no better answer because nobody's showing them there's a whole other side of this. Why are the media's messages on this issue to kids uniformly unquestioning and positive? Well, propaganda. I think it's negative, actually. Always favorable articles on things like the Day of Silence. You could write the articles. It's the formula. There's no thought given to these articles. Poor reporting. They just take the talking points, and it's about bullying, and it's about support for the gay students, and you quote the head of the Gay Straight Alliance, and then you might go to one parent. You hope they're really rabid, and then maybe you get one quote from them. But sometimes you ignore that, and you just go on, and you just have your little article. There's no journalism. I would ask another question about homosexual clubs in schools. Why do we have 4,000 some clubs? In the early 90s, we had 10. This is not the results of a grassroots uprising by a real perceived need of a deprived civil rights group. This is a manufactured crisis by adult homosexual activists who are going into the schools, and they're backed up by the ACLU. This is how they get in. They get in with Kevin Jennings' calling card of safety and the possibility of suicide. Safety, the new definition of safety, is freedom from hearing any criticism of or warnings about homosexuality. That's safety. The National Education Association is well on board. They have a website for GLBT students for safety, and it's all pro-homosexual. It's like it's the greatest thing in the world. There's no risk involved. Golly gee whiz, it just looks, happy kids. They even gave Kevin Jennings an award a few years ago. That's where they are. They've made kids believe that it's a just cause for two homosexual males to be having sex with each other. This is noble and worthy of defense. Anyone who happens to point out the straight upward trend of HIV rates, as reported by the Centers for Disease Control among 13 to 24-year-old males, is full of hate. This is a hateful thing. You wouldn't do that if you really cared about us. You know what? I think kids have a right to the yuck factor. I think they have a right to say, I find this repulsive. I think it's natural. No one is born homosexual. No one. This is one of the things where I came on board this issue when I did the research, and it hasn't changed. It's like, it's so obvious. And you don't even have to go to the conservative side. It's obvious within what the homosexual community says internally itself. Do a quick Google search. It's everywhere. The other thing that's everywhere within the homosexual community, and a lot within what's communicated to our kids, is this idea of don't label yourself, be fluid. That's very important, be fluid in your sexuality. It's throughout kids' novels. In fact, this is a key component in the academic discipline of queer theory. Queer theory is, continual change of sexuality on all sides, in all directions, at all times, and rethinking your gender, and whatever you want to be, and you make up your own names. Well, if it was a fixed identity, you wouldn't be doing that now, would you? I could spend all evening talking about this new genre of teen novels that do three things at once: normalize homosexuality, undermine traditional Christian teaching, seemingly in detail, substitute a new version of progressive Christianity that just coincidentally is really cool with homosexuality and every other kind of sex, by the way. Example, Thinking Straight by Robin Reardon. This book does it all. The hero is a teenage boy named Taylor who feels homosexual attractions to other guys. By page 8, he is having explicit homosexual sex with a boy he meets in church. He's a Christian, professing Christian. But what they do is, his parents, what do? They send him to a reprogramming camp. I mean, I don't know about you, but I know tons of these, don't you? I mean, I can think of 7 or 8 right off the bat where you send kids off, and I don't know of one. This is the dream of homosexual activists. Are there such camps? Anyway, they have these cardboard Neanderthal Christian people running the training program, and by the end of the novel, you have got the predictable molesting minister who also happens to be murdering kids. It shouldn't be funny. It is funny because you got to laugh because this is such manipulation. It just doesn't get any better than this for homosexual activists for the deconstruction of Western civilization. Latest book, God Box by Alex Sanchez. This one is recommended on the GLSEN website. I wasn't finding Thinking Straight on the GLSEN website. There's just as bad books like this one. The gay agenda is blatantly anti-Christian, almost always now, making no apologies for it. We're constructing new homosexuals, is what we're doing. This is a sexual minority manufacturing process, is what it is. It would be so much better if people were always kind to each other, no matter what. But one of the kindest things we can do to kids is tell them the truth at the appropriate time.